Can I start or?
Yes, sorry about that.
Okay. Good afternoon to everybody. I'm very happy to be with you today. First of all, I would like to thank Mr. Tim, the head of the Denver International Petroleum Society, for the invitation to speak today. So also I welcome to all the attendances and also to my team, Dr. Khaled Amrouni from Colorado and Mr. Mohammed Hamari from Tripoli. So welcome to join us today. So I'm being here to talk about or spotlight on the petroleum system of the offshore Sirte, Cyrenaica, and Mediterranean region. The outline of the study. In this presentation, in general, we will cover the main hydrocarbon discoveries within offshore Sirt and Cyrenaica, and then we talk about the analog study or focusing on carbonate or analog study from the Cyrenaica platform has been done by Amrouni and et al. In 2015, and then we take some examples from the Mediterranean and other Mediterranean regions, so to represent or to show the Miocene as a petroleum system. Yeah. As you may aware, Libya is a country located in North Africa and bounded by Egypt to the east and by Tunisia to the west and Mediterranean Sea to the north and Chad and Niger to the south. Here you see the distributions of Libyan sedimentary basins. In the southern part, we have El-Ekhfifi and Murzik Basin, and then in the southwestern part, Ghadam's Basin, and this is in the central part, Sirt or onshore Sirt Basin, and this is the offshore Sirt Basin. This is the Tripolitania sub-basin, and this is Cyrenaica platform. You see here the Jurassic hinge lines separated by Al-Jabal Al-Akhdar uplift to the north, and the Cyrenaica platform to the south. As you may aware, Libya is a prolific country and has been considered to have huge amount of oil and gas reserves first in Africa. And as you may aware, 80% of the proven oil reserves are from Sirt Basin. Hydrocarbon reserves in Libya. Here you see the proven crude oil reserves in Libya and neighboring countries, according to the OPEC. Giant fields have been discovered in onshore and offshore basins in Libya. The onshore basins are Murzik and Sirt, while the offshore basins are the Tripolitania sub-basin. This basin includes two giant fields, Bahr al-Salam and Al-Buri field. And also when we go toward the offshore Sirt, you see here his exploration. And as you may be aware, announced the first exploration discovery in 2009, which is known as Arus al-Bahar gas. Yes. And Rimsa in 1988 in the margin between Cyrenaica and offshore Sirt. So they found the Rimsa, they discovered the hydrocarbon within the Eocene succession, while they discovered there or the hydrocarbon from or within the Cretaceous and Eocene succession. Another area operated, or in addition to that, studies done by PP are very encouraging and highlighted very good potential structures. So according to this, they determined to present three different type of reservoirs. One of them is a carbonate flank, which is similar to Zohr discovery. Yes. And as you may be aware, the carbonate flank or carbonate buildings are very attractive reservoirs around the world. Ion Geophysical Company in 2014 passing through passing today Seismic Survey along the Libyan coast And from this map, you see here the cross-section was taken from Cyrenaica Ridge to Sirt embayment. So you see here the pre-rift package, Cyrenaica package, the base Cenozoic package in the Sirt embayment, and here the pre-rift of the upper or of the uplifting of the upper Cretaceous in the Cyrenaica Ridge. This is the discovery of Remsa. As I said, they discovered the hydrocarbon within the Eocene succession, and you see here the big structures within the Cretaceous, within the Cretaceous, and here the distribution of the ages or the fascias based upon the interpretation of the seismic section. So as I said, the discoveries came from Eocene and Cretaceous, but no one touched Miocene. Unless the study that has been done in 2015, focusing on Cyrenaica platform as a good carbonate analog study for further exploration study to also understand the rock properties. You see here the location map of that study, located in northeastern part of Libya, which is Cyrenaica, and here by different colors. Here by yellow bars here, you see the distribution of the measured stratigraphic sections along 135 kilometers. This is the sequence stratigraphic framework. You see here the north-south cross-section. This cross-section roughly has been constructed from north to south. So here in this cross-section, the maximum flooding surface was selected at the base of the maximum flooding surface. And here by different colors, you see the fascias distribution. Here the peritidal fascias, here the ramp crest fascias, and here the subtidal fascias. You see here dominantly by oolitic greenstone associated with, or you see, or in the same time, two second order cycles and 6 third order cycles. In addition to that, high carbon excursion within the middle Miocene, marked or indicated by carbon stable isotope. This is which is called the Monterey event. And as you may aware, Monterey event is a global event, was discovered in Monterey Mountain in California, and then confirmed in different other countries like in Japan, in Greece, Italy, Spain, and Cyrenaica as well. This means the high productivity of organic matter. This is good indication to present source rock has been deposited at that time, but this source rock needs to be its maturity level, corrosion type, all the source rock parameters in order to determine the potentiality of the source rock. This is a question, or this is one of the main next plans of this. In addition to that, you see here the black curve represents the high gamma ray zones, or high gamma ray zone measured by gamma ray handheld scintillometer. This slide shows the one detailed measured section, A1, or this slide tying the A1 detailed measured section with porosity curve. And we see here the high porosity zones occurred within middle Miocene, you see here. You see here also photomicrographs of different types of secondary porosity: oomoldic porosity, biomoldic porosity, fenestral porosity, fracture biomoldic porosity, frame growth porosity, and biomoldic porosity. And the average of porosity is around 20%. This slide, or you see here, middle Miocene carbon 13 maximum reading Monterey event. These are the carbon isotope curves. This is the global curve, and this is from Indian Ocean, and this is from Cyrenaica, and there is the other Mediterranean. By color, or the colored zone here indicates or show the high carbon excursion within the middle Miocene, which is known Monterey event. Offshore Cyrenaica Bathymetry. This slide shows the new bathymetry and newly interpreted submarine structures. As the scientists in the last years, they interpreted this is a northern Cyrenaica fault, but my colleague Ayman Amr interpreted this as a trench according to the bathymetrical map, or according to the bathymetrical mapping. This trench passing through Italy with the same dip direction. Yes. You see here the submarine canyons, see here volcanic rocks, magmatic bodies toward the south. Offshore Cyrenaica structural styles. You see here the red arrows show the continental drift direction. In terms of structural traps, the trench or the submarine trench is very important to have structural traps within the area in terms of petroleum exploration. And the bathymetry, it is very important to control what type of rigs we use in the drilling, because we have in the deep water or in deep marine, we have a deep water challenge. So the bathymetry, it is very good. Bathymetrical mapping is very good to tell us what kind of rig to drill. This is an example from south of Cyprus, large anticlinal toy of deep Nile delta fan with Messinian low stand delta or delta clastic sand faulted pre-Messinian, and gas chemins are highly visible. So within the anticlinal structures. And another one, or from Crete, Dr. I forget his name, but there is a team studying, working on the potentiality of Crete. So they said in their papers they have similarity with these features in the Crete also. This slide shows the Mediterranean petroleum systems. So here see Prinos, the Mediterranean basins, or in terms of petroleum system. This is the Prinos Basin, Ionian Basin, Levantine Basin, and Cretan Basin. These are the petroleum system elements. But the most important thing is as you see here in Cretan, the type of trap combination, the seal, Miocene evaporates, as we may wear the Messinian crisis, and also type of reservoir, Miocene deltates, source rock Miocene shale. this confirms what we have done from this Cyrenaica outcrop study that targeted the Miocene. This encourages us, encourages us to focus on the Miocene as an active play in the areas close to the Crete and close to the Cyrenaica bridge as well. You see here activities or seismic activities between Libya and Crete, based upon, or this is a slide from Elias. So this is the author working on the potentiality of Crete. Yeah. Neighboring discovery Zohr field in Egypt. This map showing the regional structures related to the Paleogene, Neogene, and the hydrocarbon discoveries. You know, the Zohr discovery, famous discovery, was done by ENI company in 2015. This is giant fields targeting or within the Cretaceous. I think, or the last studies confirm the Zohr is a Miocene reservoir, but I think last year another scientist from ENI proved the type or the age of reservoir, not Miocene. This is a Cretaceous reservoir, while the Miocene is a source. The source rock is biogenic gas topped by Mycenian crisis or Mycenian salts. General sketch to describe the Zohr, the sea Mycenian evaporized Miocene siliciclastics, and the source biogenic, but the Miocene carbonate built up, we can say now Cretaceous carbonate built up, according to the last studies that have been done by ENI engineers. Another discovery in Egypt from northeastern Nile Delta, from Abu Madi field located in Nile Delta. The petroleum system there is Miocene, also petroleum system, but type of gas thermogenic, not biogenic like in Zohr. You see here the Miocene source rock reached the late mature stage at middle to upper Miocene. Let me to go through also to Levantine Basin. There are another discoveries in Palestine, like in Tamar field and Leviathan fields, and these are new discoveries in Palestine in the last 10 years, and we go toward the Lebanon, toward the offshore Lebanon. You see the area more deeper, and let me now to talk about the Levant Basin and surrounding continental margin stratigraphy. This cross-section represents the Lebanon geology. So please see here the source rock biogenic gas within the Miocene, and also source rocks, oil and gas, so different type of source rocks, but we focus here on the Miocene source rock. Oligo-Miocene play offshore Lebanon. So Miocene sand sealed by interformational shale and Mycenian crisis, sourced by Oligo-Miocene biogenic source. So in Lebanon, the biogenic gas increase toward the offshore or deepest offshore and decrease towards the margin and towards the onshore. So, and the Miocene source rock present or exist in the deepest offshore area and not exist in the in the margin. But in the margin, we see only there is the Miocene reservoir. In the onshore, no exist of Miocene. About the type of deposits, on the margin, mostly carbonate deposits. And we go toward the deeper to the offshore, you see mixed siliciclastics and pelagic deposits. This is a summary of East Mediterranean, or we can say summary of the Levant Basin petroleum systems within Lebanon. So you see here the onshore and the margin. This is the deepest offshore. You see the migration pathway and the existed formations. You see here the Miocene works as a reservoir and also as a source rock topped by Messinian salt. Here the Miocene is a reservoir, but I think in that area Total has been drilled there first well, and I think this is a dry because they were targeting the Tamar formation, but I think it does not exist to this area according to the studies that have been done by Basib France Lab. They interpreted these things, and they said that Tamar not exists in this area. Yeah. This work from Abu Dhahar, working for Basib France Lab. Conclusion and recommendations. As we said, Arus al-Bahar discovery was done in the Gulf of Sirte by the Hess, and another discovery by Rimsa, and the area or the BP area. The geoscientists, they described 3 different types of reservoirs: carbonate flank, basin anaclastics, and marginal anaclastics. Also, the important structures have been highlighted by ion geophysical company. It may similar to Zohr, according to some reports that were mentioned by also Greek scientists. They said maybe these areas or these structures may similar to Zohr. Yeah, these data both by Spectrum, and as you may aware, Spectrum working closely with the Greece, with the Greek people, with the Greek government. So according to also the main according to the surface analog study that focused on Miocene petroleum system, 3 different type of rocks could be a good reservoirs. So oolitic greenstone, coralline red algae, and microbial phages. All of them have a thickness, a huge thickness, and lateral continuity 135 kilometer. Potential good sea represented by Miocene anhydrite section. We will discuss more about this study with Dr. Khaled Amrouni. He is with us today. We will talk with him in the discussion to tell us what we will do next. So potential source rock indicated by isotope, or according to the stable isotope analysis, we have high carbon excursion. This indicates the presence of source rock, as we said, and the pathway of migration can be internal within Miocene or external out of Miocene rocks. Accordingly, further studies should focus on the Miocene beds as a possible reservoir, like reservoir present in Eastern Mediterranean basins. Thank you very much for attending my talk, and I look forward to seeing you next.
Excellent. No, thank you very much. That's fascinating. Great work. I guess we maybe have a couple minutes for questions, Salah. Is that right? How's your timing?
Oh, I have 5 minutes now because I have another meeting.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, so no, if there's any questions, everyone feel free to email Salah. His email's on the screen, or you can send it to me. Send the email to me and I can forward it on. So
Yeah, you can see the email from the first slide here. If you have any questions, I will be happy to answer. Yeah.
sounds good. Well, I'm gonna
Yeah.
go ahead and stop recording, but thank you very much, Salah.
You're welcome. You're welcome.